So we're going to have to steam our broccoli for this recipe. So we've got a steamer, and we are going to fire it up. All right, this is not a slow cooker recipe. This we're going to make in the oven. It has become a favorite of Melanie and I's, and it is delicious. It is a keto loaded cauliflower. It is to simulate loaded baked potatoes. Okay, think about that. So what we're going to have is 9 ingredients. We've got bacon to mix in. We have cauliflower. We're going to have green onions, sour cream, a little bit of cream cheese, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and cheddar cheese. That's it. And what we need is to cut up the cauliflower into bite-sized nuggets and then steam it before mixing everything together. Now what we want to do is cut these up into more bite-sized manageable pieces. The recipe calls for 1 head of cauliflower. I'm going to be honest with you, the cauliflower that was at the store was pretty small, so we are going to use 1.5 heads. Because there's not enough to fill up the 9x13 bowl or pan. And I take the core pieces out, and then you can cut these up however you so desire, but you see the size I'm going for. We don't want them too big. You want them to fit in your mouth. So keep that in mind. All right, so you see the cauliflower. Now, these green onions are huge, which is not what I normally have. I didn't notice it when I grabbed the pack. But this is, other than crumbling up or cutting up the bacon, this is it. We get the cauliflower into small pieces, and we do the onions, and now is time. All right, the steamer's steaming. We don't want it to fall over here, so we're gonna, there we go. And that'll take a few minutes, and as soon as that's done, we'll mix everything together. All right, it's been a little bit. We're gonna check. Not quite tender enough. Probably gonna go another minute or two, and then we will actually use a colander, because otherwise it's a battle to drain the cauliflower. All right, now this is how simple this dish is. We take our cauliflower that's been steamed, and I mix in, put it on top of the cream cheese that has been at room temperature to get a good mix on. You'll notice I cut it up into pieces. It seems to help. All right. And we're going to add other things. We're going to add a little more garlic powder. I added some to the cream cheese. A little more salt. A little more pepper. And then we're going to add the last 4 ingredients once I like the way the cream cheese is being mixed in. Since it's the thickest of the stuff. There we go. And it calls for measurements when it comes to sour cream. It's one of the beauties of this particular recipe. I don't have to worry too much about measurements. I really don't care. We'll get it right. And again, I used, because the cauliflower heads were small, I used about 1.5 heads. You can see how it's starting to mix up pretty well. All right, a little more cheese. That's good. We'll put some on the top. I think that's enough. Let's add in our onions. And our bacon. Okay. Now we're talking. Look at that. 6 pieces of bacon. I think it needs a little more pepper. Maybe a touch of salt. I'm not going to go much more than that. And then what we're going to do is take our 9x13 pan, dump this in, scrape this out. All right. I'm going to spread this out. Sometimes I put bacon on the top. I did not this time, but we are going to put some cheese on the top. Just to even it out. And it's going to go into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes at 350. All right. And then lunch will be served or dinner will be served. All right, we're going to pull it out of the oven now. It has been 20 minutes. And this is what we end up with. All right. It is delicious. It tastes like a loaded baked potato. I'm going to let it sit a minute or two and then serve it up. The other thing is you can add jalapenos to this if you want. You can do whatever you want with this recipe. Think about however you would treat your own loaded baked potato. The difference is far less net carbs because of the cauliflower and the fiber in it. All right, we're going to let this is set up long enough. All right, babe, what do you think about this dish? Scale of 1 to 10, how would you grade it?
12.
While it is not a loaded baked potato, does it come across or is it as satisfying?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, so guys, sooner or later she's going to not be a fan of a recipe I make, but I might not ask for input on it. But this one we have been very fond of from the get-go. Mm-hmm. Again, like I said, you could add jalapenos if you want. You could even add green chilies. It's all good. So the 9 ingredients are listed below. Hour from start to finish. From cutting, steaming, because you can do it at the same time, and cooking. And I was moving at a leisurely pace. Enjoy.